Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Jack. So today is a continuation of yesterday's video. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, there's no way that this video is going to make any sense. And so basically, I'm just going to go over about 9 more of these Einsatzgruppen reports, and we're going to see some stuff. So the first one is a little bit incriminating here, depending on your perspective, right? So we're going to look at, this is OSR number 14, and it says, Einsatzgruppe A. Tilsit was used as base for 3 major cleansing actions as follows. In Garsden, 201 persons shot. In Kroningen, 214 persons shot. In Polingen, 111 persons were shot. So the first one, in Garsden, the Jewish population had supported the Russian border guards repulsing the German attack. So they're combatants. So 201 people were shot for joining with the Soviets in battle. That's not really a bad thing. Anyways, not a bad thing to shoot them, I'm saying. In Kroningen, on the night of the occupation, a German officer and 2 quartermasters were treacherously shot by the population. And so they shot 214 people for that. So that's a reprisal shooting, and after World War II, that would be a war crime, because it would be, reprisal against an entire group. And then in Polingen, on the day of the occupation, another officer was treacherously shot by the population, so they shot 111 of them. Anyways, in all of these 3 major operations, mainly Jews were liquidated. However, there were also Bolshevik officials and snipers among them who were handed over by the Wehrmacht to the security police. Anyways, this one is a little bit incriminating, honestly. Would you do the same thing if you were in charge and terrible people were trying to do terrible things to... It's funny because I guess they shot some Germans, but typically they're doing the terrible things to the populations that they live among, the United States, or anywhere in the West. Okay, today, I mean. Okay, so this one's from the same one, OSR 14, and it says, EK4B location, Tarnopol. In Tarnopol, 5,000 Ukrainians were taken away and 2,000 murdered by the Soviets. In retaliation, arrest of Jewish intelligentsia has begun, since they are responsible for the murders and have also acted as informers for the NKVD. The number is estimated at 1,000. On July 5th, about 70 Jews were assembled by the Ukrainians and finished off with concentrated fire, machine gunned. 20 more Jews slain in the streets by Ukrainian soldiers as retaliation for the murder of 3 soldiers who were found in prison, tied, their tongues sliced, and eyes gouged out. The German army demonstrates a gratifyingly good attitude towards Jews. The German army demonstrates a gratifyingly good attitude towards Jews. I don't know what that means. This is Zlochev was searched for agents and archives. Okay. So when the Soviets were in charge of Tarnopol, 5,000 Ukrainians were taken away to wherever, to gulags or whatever, and 2,000 were murdered. So in retaliation, they arrested Jewish intelligentsia, who they have evidence are responsible for the murders and also acted as informers, and they took 1,000 of them. Well, doesn't sound too bad to me. Okay, and then so this is OSR 17, and it's under number 2. It says police work. According to the instructions by RSHA, liquidations of government and party officials in all named cities of Belarus, were carried out concerning the Jews according to orders. The same policy was adopted. The exact number of the liquidated has not yet been established. On June 22nd, almost all the officials of the Communist Party has fled, probably following higher instructions, and had taken with them all well-prepared documents. It is likely that some of the officials will try to return. So, basically, it looks like they're under orders that they're going to grab and liquidate all of the communists, which would be a lot of Jews given the circumstances. And it seems to me that when you're fighting against communists, and then you have communists in the towns that you're capturing, and then you also have partisan activity in those towns as well as train derailments, barracks blown up in the middle of the night, stuff like that. That makes sense to me. Okay, so also still in OSR 17, special report on the political situation and activity in the area of Vilnius. Police matters. This is about police matters. The Lithuanian police branches in Vilnius, subordinated to the Einsatzkommando, were given task of drawing up current lists of the names of Jews in Vilnius, first intelligentsia, political activists, and wealthy Jews. Subsequently, searches and arrests were made, and 54 Jews were liquidated on July 4th, and 93 were liquidated on July 5th. Sizable property belonging to Jews was secured. With the help of Lithuanian police officials, a search was started for communist and NKVD agents, most of whom, however, are said to have fled. A search was also started for hidden weapons of the Polish secret military organizations, of which the Lithuanian police has not yet made an accurate estimate. The establishment of a Jewish quarter is being prepared. Upon suggestion of the EK, which is Einsatzkommando, the Jewish quarter will be declared to be out of bounds to military personnel by order of the Field Command HQ. So the first part sounds like it was like a war crime, like just rounding people up, because then after that they went to search for communist and NKVD agents. So it could have been retaliation. I'm not sure, which is also a war crime. So the last part I think is interesting here, because so after they secure an area, they look at the NKVD files, they find who the bad people are, they liquidate them, and then they set up a Jewish committee. In some of these you'll see, and then they, if necessary, they make a Jewish quarter. And frequently it'll mention in these that they don't allow anybody who's fled to return, because if you already fled, you're probably a bad guy. Though we'll see in these, though, even the Polish fear the Germans when the Germans come, because the Soviets have propagandized them, saying that everyone's going to get a bullet when they're under German control. And then I also think it was interesting. It says the Jewish quarter will be declared to be out of bounds to military personnel by order of the Field Command HQ. So when they establish this Jewish quarter, don't think that there's Nazis going in there and like attacking them and stuff, because it's literally off. It's out of bounds to military personnel. Okay, so the next one's from OSR 19. And so there's a couple slides here. Actually, there's quite a few. There's 6. Okay, so basically the first one, I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm not going to read the entire thing. But basically, it's a list of people who were executed, and you can see the place and the number of people. There's one person there, 122, 192. Thus, at the end, it says, thus till now, a total of 1,743 people have been shot. One of the funny things is in the first paragraph where they're talking about it, they say, like, on July 3rd, 322 persons, among them 5 women. So you can get an idea. After that says, in Augustowel, 316 persons, among them 10 women. So you can see that the Germans see that it's men. They're targeting men, not children, not women. And when they do have to execute a woman, they state that they do, just so it's clear, which means they're not just rounding up the populations. Now, if we continue on in OSR 19, we're going to see that this is just like the Daniel Craig movie. They're out there in the woods and they're fighting, and they're taking pot shots and they're doing partisan activity. And the Germans are going out there and rounding up. The Germans are well better equipped, well better trained, well better coordinated. They're going out there and rounding up the partisans and then executing them. So the next slide says, the members of the Red Army who are hidden in the woods and in other hiding places is driven by hunger, surface, and surrender, in most cases by showing the white flag. The attitude of the Lithuanian population is friendly towards the Germans so far. They help the German soldiers, the police officials, and the other organizations already functioning in this area as much as possible. Their cooperation consists chiefly in looking for and turning over Lithuanian communists, dispersed Red Army soldiers, and Jews. After the retreat of the Red Army, the population of Kaunas killed about 2,500 Jews during a spontaneous uprising. In addition, a rather large number of Jews was shot by the auxiliary police service. Okay, so it goes back to like the guy who made the reason why we made the Operation Reinhardt video was because a guy made a comment. He's like, you fools and liars, there's a Holocaust of bullets. Well, those 2,500 Jews who died right there were killed by the population in reprisal for the terrible treatment during the Red Army occupation. And then these Jews out in the woods fighting with the Red Army and then surrendering. Like, okay, they're enemy combatants at that point, obviously, because it literally said the members of the Red Army who were hidden in the woods. Anyways, so same report, Einsatzgruppe A, location Riga. In Kaunas, up to now a total of 7,800 Jews have been liquidated, partly through pogroms and partly through shooting by Lithuanian commandos. All of the corpses have been removed. Further mass shootings are no longer possible. Therefore, I summoned a Jewish committee and explained that up to now, we had no reason to interfere with the internal arrangements between Lithuanians and the Jews. Foundations for a, quote, new order, the establishment of a Jewish ghetto, identifying all the Jews with the yellow Star of David 8 by 10 centimeters in size to be worn on the left breast, and the separate housing of women and children for possible release on our orders by the Lithuanians and by a Jewish relief committee in the new ghetto. The town of Vilnius was designated as the location of the ghetto. So this is the same town that they killed, that the population killed 2,500 in the previous slide. So now they're up to 7,800 dead. And it's interesting, further mass shootings are no longer possible, which means they have no, in my opinion, I say, they have no evidence, so they can't kill anyone else. They've got no evidence of doing terrible things. And it's not like all the Jews are gone, because obviously they're creating this Jewish committee, which is what I told you about before. And So anyways, the resettlement must be carried out within 4 weeks. Prisons now are being searched once more. Some Jews, for special reasons, are being arrested and shot. Special reasons. This will involve a minor number of executions, only 50 to 100 persons. To prevent Jews from returning to Kaunas, an agreement was made with the higher SS and police leader that the ORPO draw a cordon around Kaunas, not allowing any Jews to enter the town. If necessary, Jews will be fired on. All Wehrmacht agencies were informed of the directives. About 250 men of the Lithuanian anti-Soviet partisans were left and being sustained by us as a Sonderkommando, which is special commando, and are being employed for future executions outside the town. So you can see what they're doing is very limited, and it's based on evidence and stuff. So I don't know, when you look at this and you say, wow, they were just Holocausting people out there. They weren't, because obviously they weren't killing all the Jews. They were only doing it if they had reason to do, you know? Let me see how long this video is so far. Honestly, I have another 25 slides here queued up, and I'm starting to think as I read this that it's not really necessary. We basically understand everything that happened. You know, you see this pattern, and it's not one of genocide at all. It is one of reprisals and stuff like that. You could say that stuff that happened was would later be looked at as war crimes, but minor, because they're being done for a reason and stuff like that. So, anyways, I'm just gonna pull it there. The kids are out there screaming and stuff, and I was thinking, like, as I was reading that last slide, it's like, I get it. If I was watching, I get it. I'm gonna flip to the next video. You know, I just don't think it's productive to do another 25 slides, just because it's the same stuff and you just keep building this pattern. But I don't think we really need to do it. Anyways, I thought this was interesting. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. And don't forget, every new Holocaust video has a link to every single older Holocaust video than itself, so that you guys can find them. But it's not like that on the older videos. It's only like that on the newer ones. And so I hope to see you next time.